GNCC returns to RacerTV.com this time, the Hoosier GNCC, and it is Stu Baylor coming off a big win in round number 5, finally capturing his first win of the season as he sets his sights on going 2 in a row. But Johnny Gerard will challenge your points leader. Can he return to the center of the box here in round number 6? All that and more starts right now.
GNCC Racing!
Well, hello and welcome to round number 6 of the 2024 Progressive Grand National Cross Country Racing Series presented by Specialized, your AMA National Championship here in Crawfordsville, Indiana for the Amsoil Hoosier GNCC. Mikey Waynes here, and I'll be taking you through today's racing action. And we begin, as always, with our Specialized race recap, round number 5. Ooh, how about it? A new track for us down in Tennessee. And boy, it certainly was a barn burner from start to finish. There's no doubt about that. As Jordan Ashburn, the hometown man, just a stone's throw away from our location that we raced at the Old Gray GNCC, had a stellar performance, leading early in this one, being trailed there by Stu Baylor, who to this point hadn't picked up a win in 2024, and we begin questioning, hey, when is Stu Baylor going to grab his win? Craig DeLong also starting out having a pretty solid day at the Old Gray GNCC, and good to see that. Finish it just off of the box, but nonetheless a move in the right direction for the defending champ. And as the day wore on, again, another heavy dose, the Coastal Racing Factory gas ride of Jordan Ashburn, but a couple of mistakes right there. Hey, Stu Baylor just having some troubles out there, there's no doubt, but it didn't matter. It enabled Ashburn to get right on that rear wheel, come to the end of it, but Stu Baylor not going to be denied, grabbing his first win of the season. Ashburn hanging on for second place, and Johnny Gerard rounding out the box, and still your points leader, Gerard.
Man, it was weird. The slower I went, the more mistakes I made, so had to pick up the pace there. The last lap, I flamed the bike out a half mile from the finish, and I had 10-12 seconds on Jordan, and he was right on me. I mean, it was a dogfight there to the end, and you know, when the blood's in the water, it's easy to follow, and I was waiting for him to pull the inside on one of these corners. Luckily, it was pretty one-lined out there, so but good racing, part of it. A couple mistakes, but man, it's good to be back in the center.
Well, we fast forward to today, and here we go. The Hoosier GNCC ready to set it off. A Steel City Medical Center Whole Shot Award up for grabs in that XC1 Pro class. As our riders jockey for position, boom, that one was a little closer than it appeared, but it's going to go to Johnny Gerard, grabbing that whole shot and early lead. But how about it for Craig DeLong? Solid start for him coming off of that 4th place. And wants to remind everybody, hey, I'm still the man. I got that number 1 plate for a reason, as Gerard checks up in the number 2 spot. So Gerard in that 2 spot early in this one. But boy, fantastic job by the rest of the pack. That was Craig DeLong, checked up a bit. So again, off and rolling in the XC1 Pro class. Josh Strang toward the back of the pack right there, as we will take a look at our XC2. See who our riders in the XC1 coursing their way around the moto track. Steel City Medical Center Whole Shot Award up for grabs. Cody Barnes in the mix, no doubt about it. The number 9 Phoenix Racing Honda of Cody Barnes going to grab that whole shot. Goes a little wide right there, able to hang on to it. But being challenged early in that XC2 class, boy, Barnes could certainly use a good ride here today. He has been off of the box through 5 rounds of racing. It's been the Grant Davis show and Angus Reardon Both guys with 2 wins coming into this one. And, of course, Josh Toth with the big overall win a couple of rounds ago. Not racing a full season with us, but nonetheless having a stellar year in what's like a part-time schedule. Call it what it is, right? FMF XC3, the 125 Pro-Am class. LoJack Cycle Sales Whole Shot Award up for grabs. We'll check up from the neck up right there, but that's going to be Dustin Simpson. They call the man Dirt Bike Jesus. Love that. I love it. But, boy, great start by Dustin Simpson. He checks up a bit. That XC3 class, how about it? Jack Walker, 3 wins under his belt. Dakota DeVore winning the first opening round of the season and then taking a win in round number 5. We'll see between the two if Jack Walker can return to his winning ways or how it's going to work out. Tough break right there for Stu Baylor, not choosing the right line as he loses a few positions. So tough break for Baylor. Got some making up to do. We're off and rolling. Johnny Gerard grabbing whole shots. Evan Smith in the mix. How about it? We'll be right back after this. Progressive GNCC Racing is brought to you by Progressive. Progressive could save you hundreds of dollars on your automobile and motorcycle insurance. Specialized E-Turbo bicycles. It's you, only faster. Rocky Mountain ATVMC.com. Get ready. And welcome back to GNCC. Here on Racer TV. Johnny Gerard leading the way. Got that reverse plate on display out in front as the rest of the XC1 class tries to keep pace. Of course, you saw before we went to the commercial break there, tough break for Stu Baylor. But we've seen him come back from situations like this before. There's no doubt that he has the ability, and he's picked up a couple of positions already as the rest of the XC1 continues to sort it out early in this one. It is Gerard still out in front. Coming into this one, what I was trying to say, coming into this one, 5 rounds in, Gerard, he picked up the first 3 wins of the year. Comes into round 4, he gets a second. Comes into round 5, he gets a third. So even on his bad days, still knocking off podiums. Baylor, he's finished off of the box one time in round number 4, just off the box in 4th place position. So Baylor picking up the big win. He needed it in round number 5 to kind of stop the bleeding, put himself back in the fight. Really needs a win here today. If nothing else, I think the goal is pretty simple for Stu. Finish in front of the man you're chasing as far as points are concerned, that being Johnny Gerard. So right now, that would mean he needs to get up into the number 1 spot, but not yet. Not just yet. So still working his way through Muddy. Muddy's been the kind of the theme, has it not, of the last year and a half, give or take. There is Stu back there continuing to fight with the rest of the pack. And it is Johnny Gerard still leading the way, looking good, looking flawless early, the 969 machine. Gerard trying to capture maybe his 4th win of the year. Plenty of racing left, though. Taking a look at the rest of the pack as they roll through. And guys starting to wick it up. Getting some small gaps back there. Craig DeLong will check back just a little bit. So Craig trying to get on the move. Coming off, finish just off of the box for DeLong. A season that, boy, no doubt has not gone the way DeLong expected. I don't think anybody expected. Some things kind of out of his control, but nonetheless getting a move in the right direction with the 4th place finish coming into today. Maybe he can pull off the podium. Got a ways to go yet. But these guys absolutely shredding as they pop out of the woods into a bit of an open field section right here. And Gerard with a pretty comfortable gap out in front, able to do his own thing, enjoying that clean air before he gets up into some lap traffic. One of the beauties, if you've never tuned into a GNCC, there's an example right there. A rider pulls off to the side. And to put it in perspective, these aren't just, first-year riders that don't know what they're doing. No, these are very skilled amateur riders in the A classes and the B classes. obviously the XC1 out there at the same time. So we saw Stu Baylor on the move. But nonetheless, kind of the added element to woods racing in the GNCC. You got to compete against the guys in your class, then you got to compete against the guys around you. So not a bad deal, all things considered. XC1 on display. Of course, Johnny Gerard is leading. There is the 969. So we believe Johnny is out front. Didn't see anybody check in right there before him, unless we missed him, but it does look like the 969 still out in front in this one. And Ashburn having a day. Of course, Lyndon Snodgrass out there. There was a shot of Craig DeLong coming through, and there is Gerard again, still leading this one on the inside line right there, getting around some of that lap traffic we were talking about. As the rest of the XC1 comes through. They'll check up from the neck up right there, getting some pressure. And Craig DeLong just at the back of this pack, kind of lurking, sort of being patient, looking for some opportunity to pass. See if he can make something happen right here. There goes Gerard. Continues his terror out front. This has been the Johnny Gerard show into the 8-mile marker. As the rest of the XC1 continues to try and keep pace. And we are moving right along here at the Hoosier into the pro pits. We'll see how this plays out as these guys going to check in for fuel stops. And I love this right there. Boy, it really gets boys to slow down a bit. Jordan Ashburn checking in right there. The goggles are off. The IMS quick fill. Babbitt's Online Monster Energy Cowie pits. And Ashburn able to get out in front of Kawasaki. Back to the grind. Gerard already through. And look at the speed these guys carry out of a pit stop. That was a good example of what GNCC racing's all about. As our amateur rider pulled to the side there, he said, you know what? I may come through the pro pits before the pros, but they are going to exit before me. That is just how good they are. Fun to watch these guys perform out here. As Gerard still out in front, didn't miss anybody in front of him, I don't believe. And now we're starting to see some gaps in here as Ashburn and the rest of the fellas checking through there. And keeping our eyes out, the man who in that points chase. Not there, so Stu gonna have to make a charge late if he wants a piece of it. Meanwhile, Johnny Gerard doing his thing out in front. Boy, that just, I mean, it's fast on Racer TV. If you've seen it in person, it's even more impressive. There is Craig DeLong now. So DeLong pushing through. He was patient back there just in the tail end of that kind of lead pack out of the XC1. And maybe just kind of buying time and finally makes a move and gets around those guys into that number 2 spot. There goes Jordan Ashburn on that Coastal Racing factory gas. And here comes Gerard. So Gerard charging in this one. Has looked pretty well flawless to this point. Got that Steel City Medical Center Whole Shot Award. And the rest of the XC1 trying to keep up with him. Craig in a bit of a dogfight right now. Got to hand it to Mike Wachowski. Mike Wachowski having an absolute day. He had a 5th place finish in round number 5. And if I'm not mistaken, maybe Mike's best finish of his career. Maybe grab another top 5 today. Maybe a podium for Mike Wachowski. Keep an eye on that man right there. Stu Baylor on the move. A little pressure behind Baylor with the rest of the XC1 class coming through. As Mike Wachowski back a little ways now. And there is Gerard. Into the pits. Fresh set of goggles. Got a gel pack, little rehydration, and some fuel. And it's back to business for the 969. Here comes Stu Baylor into the pro pits now. The goggles are off. A fresh set of goggles, a fuel stop for him. Nothing extra, business as usual. That is your standard GNCC pit stop right there. And boy, did they make it look easy. Being down in the pro pits, you see that with your own eyes. It is an impressive thing to watch. Here comes Baylor. Baylor with the late push, trying to put himself in position. He is going to have to charge. Wachowski having a day back there in the 4 spot right now. And here comes Gerard. Going to have some lappers, as you saw just on your screen. Gets around them, no problems. Where is second place? Is it going to be Stu? Some troubles right there. Oh, Stu trying to get that machine moving. Loses a position. Baylor in the fight with Craig DeLong. Now Craig DeLong looks like the man we saw in 2023 that earned that number 1 plate. Right there in the fight with Baylor. So it is Gerard, DeLong, and Baylor 1, 2, and 3. How is this one going to play out? Those top 3 really kind of separating themselves. Gerard certainly has separated himself as there goes DeLong, and here comes Baylor. Machine smoking a wee bit. Is it the creek crossing? Ooh, Baylor looking down at the machine. I think we're good, though. All good. Maybe he was thinking the same thing. It's just a creek crossing. No worries. Into the open field section we go. Here we go. Mano y mano. This is exactly what we want. That's Baylor on the outside working on Craig DeLong. DeLong on the inside. Baylor may have made the pass. They duck behind the trees, but that might have been the pass right there as Gerard says, have at it, boys. I'm trying to bring my 4th win of the year. As DeLong, let's see if it's going to be DeLong or is it going to be Baylor. Oh, couldn't quite tell from that shot. I think this is Baylor. So Baylor now out in the number 2 spot. Where is DeLong? There is DeLong, the number 1, still keeping pace. Just a little bit off of that pace of Stu Baylor. Let's see, these two, they may push each other. Very common. You see it in GNCC. Rider can link up with another one, and they really can push to the front of the pack. It's when you get out there on an island by yourself. Mercy sakes. Stu going full send right there. It's when you get on the island by yourself, things, you begin to struggle a bit. Baylor is just doing everything right now. And Baylor the leader. Baylor the new leader. That is Gerard in the 2 spot. So Stu Baylor now out in front. Gerard in second. Here comes Baylor. The feet off of the pegs. Hoosier GNCC giving Stu Baylor everything he wants and more. And look at the sense of urgency now out of Johnny Gerard. So maybe a few mistakes. Gerard had a nice gap back to second place, but a charging Stu Baylor right now. Coming off the win in round number 5. He wants more here in Indiana at round number 6 to chip away at that points lead by Gerard. And Baylor checking out to another planet right now. So Stu trying to go back-to-back here in round number 6. We'll be right back after this. Progressive GNCC Racing is brought to you by Progressive. Progressive could save you hundreds of dollars on your automobile and motorcycle insurance. Specialized e-turbo bicycles. It's you, only faster. RockyMountainATVMC.com. Get ready. And welcome back to GNCC here on YouTube. Watching the Hoosier GNCC and watching the 514 Rocky Mountain ATVMC Red Bear Racing Kawasaki lead this one out in front. It is Gerard, we believe, in the number 2 spot. Where is Craig DeLong? He was back in the 3 position, battling with Baylor late. And here comes Stu, here comes Gerard. Now Gerard inching up on Stu Baylor. Stu Baylor trying to make it back-to-back wins. Gerard still your points leader coming into today. Got that reverse plate, as you see. And here comes the checkered flag, and it's going to be Stu Baylor. How about that? Stu, a man of the people. Had a rider coming in before him. He says, you want another lap? You want to check in before me for a white flag? Rider said, yeah, man, I'll go out and run another one. So Stu comes in, his second win of the season, and more importantly, second win in a row. And this now chipping away at that points lead by Gerard. We'll see where Gerard finishes. Was in the 2 spot.
Man, I'm beat. That was rough. But had a great team and a good pit strategy, and it worked out.
So taking a look, it's going to be Stu, Craig, and Gerard. So Craig DeLong getting around Johnny Gerard, going to be Craig's first podium of the year.
Man, it was a tough track, the soft dirt, and it was kind of sneaky hot out there, and just a physical track. So happy to come out here with a podium and with how the year has been going, and we're getting the momentum rolling. So I'm looking forward to the next couple weeks.
Well, as we take a look at the point standings, Gerard going to come out of this one 10 ahead of Stu Baylor, but a move in the right direction for Baylor. Ashburn kind of quietly back there in the 3 spot. How about it for Grant Davis? Just behind those fellas. Taking a look at the specialized race recap. It was Johnny Gerard setting the pace early. Real close was Craig DeLong on the outside. Evan Smith was in the mix, but the 9:69 of Johnny Gerard really setting a blistering pace early from the start. Craig DeLong, about a middle-of-the-pack start for the XC1 class once it all got sorted out, as it was for Baylor. Baylor, maybe not the best start for him, but boy, did he chip away at it and do some work to get back up in the fight. And the coming out of those pro pits, boy, this is really when things began to develop. It looked like Gerard was going to run away with this thing. Had just a great gap, maybe a couple of mistakes out there by Gerard. And the push, the kind of that back and forth between Craig DeLong and Stu Baylor, those two just pushing to the front. Baylor finally able to make the pass on Gerard and bring it home for his second win of the season. As a man of the people, he lets his rider, hey, check in front of me, go get you another lap, buddy, have some fun out there. And Baylor grabbing the win. How about it? Cheers. And, ooh, little champagne mishap. It happens on the bigger jobs, they say. Gerard said, you know what? I'm popping bottles. Here you go, Stu. I'm going to help you out. That's going to wrap things up for us. We'll be back with more of these recap episodes. Be sure to tune in on Wednesday nights at 7. I'm Mikey Waynes. We'll see you at the races.